My relationship with desperation began long before I understood what it meant. The year was 2019. I was in 10th grade. Until then, I had only one goal: to study with everything I had and score as many marks as possible. And I was doing that well. I used to top my school. As 2019 passed, my hard work kept increasing because my board exams were in February 2020. And as the exams got closer, I started noticing something strange. Every second person I met would ask me the same question: what will you do after this? What do you want to become in life? On one side, I was preparing as hard as I could for my boards. And on the other side, this question started haunting me. They were right. What will I do ahead? But how was I supposed to answer that? All I was told my whole life was, study well, score good marks in 10th, and life will be easy. And I was doing exactly that. Then suddenly, why a new question? And not just any question. A question that could impact my entire life. A question whose answer could shape even my future generations. How could I say, I want to become this, or I want to do that, when I was never even given a chance to explore anything? I didn't know what choosing a field meant for my future. So when nothing made sense, I started asking people around me. One suggested engineering. One said, you study well, go into medical. Someone else said, you have good height, defense will suit you. So for my entire future, I was left with just 3 choices. And I decided, after 10th, I'll take science and do engineering. But what I didn't realize then was this: the people advising me were themselves living meaningless lives. Someone told me to be a doctor, but he wasn't a doctor himself. How would he know what a doctor's life looks like? Someone told me to be an engineer, but he himself was stuck in a 9-to-5 job thinking, where have I trapped myself? They weren't suggesting what was best for me. They were suggesting what society considers respectable. And kids from middle-class families, we accept their words as truth. We start working hard for those paths without ever asking ourselves, what kind of life do I want? And so, another generation becomes a victim of a meaningless life. But, luckily, a voice inside me refused to stay silent. I was the first boy in my entire family to go to an English medium school. My father wanted me to study, get a job in an AC office, and never face the hardships he faced. One night, we were discussing what I should do after 10th. Somehow, I gathered courage and said, Papa, I don't think I'm made for this. I don't want a job. I want to create something big on my own. I want to be a businessman. I want to live a life that inspires others. Before I could finish, he got angry. What nonsense are you talking? I'm not educating you for this. You should get a stable job. I couldn't stop myself from crying. I fell asleep crying. And that night, I decided to bury that inner voice forever. Then 2020 arrived. I finished my board exams, and I started preparing for coaching entrance tests for GE scholarships. I worked hard, but the voice inside me, I couldn't kill it. I tried focusing only on studies, but it didn't work. Then came that night, 28th March 2020. At 2 a.m., with a RS-30 selfie stick, a phone, and a rice container as a stand, I uploaded my first YouTube video. And suddenly, I felt alive. I would spend the whole day learning, researching, scripting, shooting, editing. No one was happy with my decision, but I was. I knew two things would happen. Either I would fail, and everyone would say, "We told him not to do it," or I would succeed, and it would become a story that ignites the fire in others. And when I look back today, every decision I've taken was driven by one single factor: my inner purpose. The decision I took on the 28th of March 2020 was not suggested by anyone. It came from within. But many people silence that voice so deeply that by adulthood, they don't even know it exists. Until we discover this inner voice, until we discover our ultimate purpose, everything we do feels meaningless. Even if we have everything, we feel like we have nothing. So the question is, how do we understand our life's ultimate purpose? How do we identify that inner voice? And once we do, how do we design our life so that every second pushes us toward that purpose? To answer these, I studied my life deeply and converted everything into a simple method. Today, in this documentary, I will share that method with you. Method 1: negative vision. Instead of thinking, "What do I want?" think, "What do I not want?" What kind of life do you not want? What type of people do you not want in your life? What kind of job do you never want to do? Look around you. People doing the same things for years. Do they live the life you want? If yes, continue doing what you're doing. If not, do the opposite. In my case, I did not want a 9-to-5 life. I did not want to be physically weak. I did not want to ask for leave to live my life. I did not want someone deciding where I would live. I did not want a repetitive life that kills creativity. This was my negative vision. And every time I visualized this life, I felt scared. And that fear motivated me to work harder. That's when I realized my ultimate purpose was freedom. Freedom to make decisions. Freedom to do what I love. Freedom of place. Freedom of income. And that's why, 5 years ago, I asked myself, which field gives me this freedom? The answer was YouTube. And today, after 5 years, I can say that my decision on that night of 28 March 2020 was the best decision of my life. I know you want to do this too, but the thing stopping you is confusion. Titles, thumbnails, research, scripting, editing. It all feels too complicated. So today, I want to end that confusion forever. And I'm excited to announce the best project of my life, the YouTube Playbook, a course containing every strategy, method, trick, and process I've learned in 5 years. Everything, step by step. Method 2. Decision analysis. List down all the decisions in your life so far. On one side, decisions you're happy about. On the other side, decisions you regret. Then analyze the happy decisions. What is the common factor? In my case, uploading my first video, launching paid classes, focusing on creativity over traditional education, dropping out of college in Jan 2024 to pursue documentaries. The common factor was freedom. You can find your purpose the same way. Method 3. Perfect day imagination. If you had everything you ever wanted, what would your perfect day look like? Visualize every hour. What would you do? Where would you live? How would your body look? What work would you enjoy? Who would your friends be? What kind of family life would you want? When you imagine without limits, your real desires reveal themselves. At least one of these 3 methods will work for you. Use all 3 for full clarity.